All right, hello everyone. I'm Primorix. I'm going to be running some Ori for you today. Hope everyone's looking forward to that. Got an awesome commentator, Richard, along with me. Help talk you through what's happening because it's going to be very fast-paced, a lot of great movement. But yeah, Richard, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Richard. You usually see me behind the camera if you're doing a run here, but I am in front of the camera. I'm ready to commentate some Ori and the Blind Forest, but really, Prim, take it away.
All right, so we're going to be starting here on normal difficulty. That's really just the default for all of most of the runs of this game, and let's just take it away in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, good luck.
Yep, so first thing right off the bat, after about 3 seconds here, I'm going to skip the prologue. Very important speed tech, of course, to get into the regular game right away. So this is a Metroidvania. We have, very limited movement, no combat available to us right at the start, but that's going to change rather quickly as we start picking up some skills.
Yeah, and this is all skills, no out of bounds, no teleport anywhere, and as a part of the skills here, again, Spirit Flame is our main combat in this game, and so we're going to be collecting that as well as our first energy cell here, so we can save. Saves are going to be very important later. We'll get into that.
Yeah, energy is going to be one of the 3 main resources in this run. It's going to come into play mostly towards the later part, but it is going to be important for saving in the beginning as well. And here we're picking up Sign. This is what will give us access to the Spirit Flame, just a small homing projectile that we can just shoot at nearby enemies. And with the magic of the scroll wheel, I'm going to be able to hopefully take out these 3 Frankie enemies very quickly.
Yeah, frog monkeys here, they take 5 shots to kill, so we're going to do 1 and then 2 volleys of 2 each. You can see 2 shots coming out at once. Very nicely done from Prim.
Yeah, that was excellent. All right, so now heading into the main part of Glades. I mentioned a few resources, and right now I'm mostly keeping track of my health. So took a damage there. I have to see whether I get a health pickup somewhere along the way just to know how I want to play the rest of this.
Yeah, so ideally you want to be at 1 health after you get your second keystone up here. The keystones open up keystone doors. So we're going to see if Prim gets, Prim got a health drop, so wants to take a hit from that. That was an intentional hit because we're going to be taking another hit from the slime in the top left there. And so we're going to be basically dying at the keystone door after we save, and so the animation of the door will then just be completed by the time we reload back in here.
Yep, so put the keystones in the door, save and die, and we can just go through the door, and that is a bit faster than just waiting for the door to open, so we're going to do that pretty much as I can.
Yep, and coming through the bottom here, we are making sure that our experience is, a specific amount.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice backflip.
Yeah, that was very nice. Also, going out of the way here to pick up an extra keystone. This one is supposed to open a door to Spirit Caverns, but we're actually going to use it later on in Moon Grotto, and I'll point that out when we do get to it. For now, experience is all set up. Just got to drop all the way down towards the wall jump tree. Very nice, and should be on our way to the second skill of the run, which is wall jump.
And the best line in the game. Ore Waza Shiga. We're also getting a second energy cell after we get wall jump here. Again, energy very important, especially in this early game. There is a 4 energy door that we're going to be opening up later on. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But this second energy is very useful to open up a 4 energy door. Yeah,
for now it's the only one we really have access to with our skill set of Spirit Flame and wall jump. So we got to get more skills. We got to get all the skills, of course, eventually. But the first one we're going to be focused on. Yeah. First one we're going to be focused on is Dash, which is going to be located in Blackroot Burrows back towards where I spawned. And it's actually a skill that is specific to the definitive edition of the game. So not really built into the game by default, but we do have to get it, and would
2 damage boost here is faster than destroying all these enemies, by the way, so very nicely done from Prim. Prim now at 1 health also.
Yeah, so just making sure not to get hit by that slime. It does take a little bit of practice to maneuver around all the slimes in this game, even something as seemingly simple as that has its subtleties. And we're coming up to a pretty important glitch in the run.
Yeah, it's going to be called Save Anywhere. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to be having the save menu up. And something that you can do actually with the save menu up is you can move with it up, and then you can essentially skip cutscenes. So we're going to be seeing that menu, and basically any time during the run that you see the save menu, that's what you're going to notice as, oh, we're going to be skipping a cutscene. So I'm just going to open up the menu here. This is an indicator that you're going to be seeing a cutscene skip, basically, if you see this up.
Yeah, so I'm just walking into this cutscene at the start of Blackroot Burrows, leveling an ability which saves the game, and then reloading, and that skips the cutscene and allows me to enter this area much faster than otherwise.
Yep, and in Blackroot Burrows, there's a lot of kind of slow sections that are predicated on these platforms moving. So Prim's going to need to make sure that we can get across just fine. And we're going to be grabbing the 100 experience that's above us here. So that's going to give us a level up that we'll be able to use to skip a cutscene later on.
Yeah, and we'll see how this goes, but I might actually be on the right timing to catch the fastest platform cycle here if I could get through these lasers quickly. So that would be really cool to show off if it does work out. Oh, okay. That's a bit of a setback, but totally fine. Just time to jump a little early. You do have to be pretty greedy to get that optimal cycle, and just didn't quite get it right there, so I do have to go back and replay some of this section.
Yep. And again, with this Blackroot Burrows section here, again, all these platforms have cycles, and we want to make sure not to get hit by the 3 lasers on the side here. Everything's fine, Prim.
So gonna just take it a little bit slower this time, make sure I wait on these laser cycles, and you can see I am catching this platform right at the bottom, so I have to wait to climb back up. It's not a big deal, but when you're going for like super optimized times in this run, it's the kind of thing that adds up very quickly.
Yep, I'm going to be waiting here to make sure that a cycle on the right side after this door opens is going to be in the right spot for us.
Yeah, so we also keep track of basically where all of the platforms, all of the cycles in this game load in or get deloaded, so that we can manipulate
that platform right there. You can kind of see it behind the UI. Again, movement with the UI is not trivial. Like, it obscures the screen, so.
Yeah, so unfortunately it is kind of a long segment here behind the Save Anywhere. But we're getting close to the end of it now once I pull this lever. Gonna be doing the actual cutscene skip. This all was just to conserve a bit of energy, honestly. And let's see. All right, gotta get the orb, start this cutscene, skip the first part of the cutscene and reload, and then I'm going to use a regular Soul Link save to skip another part and hopefully set up some line movement here. You know what? Let's just go out normally.
And now that we have our dash skill, we're actually going to hand it over to our host Dane for about 2 messages.
You betcha. Just want to remind everybody, we do have the bid war open for the starter for Pokemon Sapphire. Currently, Mudkip is in the lead by $200, and Trico is trailing at $100. So, Trico fans, I know you're out there. Better get your donations in for that. Remember, when you go to gamesdonequick.com/donate, you have to select the incentive or the bid war yourself. It doesn't automatically do it. So if you want to put your donations toward one of those bid wars or incentives, you have to manually select that. Don't forget.
Thank you for that message. And now we have Billy, our Frankie friend here, who's going to be taking a journey with us. Again, we only have 2 energy right now. We are going towards the 4 energy door. So we have to put the 2 energy that we have into the door, level up from this Frankie, who gives us enough XP, and then use that 2 energy as well. This skips a lot of early parts of the game.
I think this wasn't going to work anyway. Yeah,
so
gonna reset.
Yeah.
I completely forgot I needed to get an XP pickup.
Yeah, Prim's gonna be doing this again. So yeah, Dave, do you have another message for us?
Sure. I got a $25 donation here from Captain Slothbeard that says, GDQ hype!
Hi. Yeah, thank you everyone at TwitchCon here that's coming to the GDQ stage. I know people maybe can't make it to a mainline GDQ all the time. It's good to be at all these different events like TwitchCon to be able to hang out, have some runs, you know, maybe see one or two, maybe try out the speedrunning gauntlet over there in the other room as well.
Got time for one more?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to also remind everybody we opened up another bid war for Name the Tentacruel for the Pokemon Sapphire run. So you got two bid wars for the Pokemon Sapphire run. So remember to put your donations toward one or both of those bid wars. You can split your donation however you want between two different bid wars or incentives. So be sure to do that when you go to gamesdonequick.com/donate.
Very awesome. And now we are going to be getting another energy cell here. And then there's going to be very precise movement as we fall down here. So there's going to be a rock crushing section to the right here where we can try to get an early cycle by dashing across.
Oh, didn't quite get the movement on that wall right. It is pretty precise to just squeeze in here right before the crusher gets in the way, so just have to wait the 8 seconds. Not really a big deal.
Yep, and we have to get ourselves to 1 HP here. Again, we are going to be dying at the door here so that we can skip the door opening animation. To get double jump, this is going to allow us to traverse back up all of this way that we just fell.
Yep, and well, double jump itself is kind of a straightforward skill in terms of what it does in a platformer. It does open up some pretty interesting movement in this run specifically in terms of double jump wall climbing, where I'm going to be doing a wall jump, double jump, wall jump, double jump, just like that. And that's going to allow me to kind of slide up these walls faster than if I just did regular wall jumps and save a lot of time.
Yep. And our next energy cell we're going to grab here. And also there's going to be a skip that Prim does. We are not going to the left side of this area at all. We are just, very nice first try, by the way.
Yeah, very good to get that right away. Basically the idea there is all of the sort of drawn crevices and divots and imperfections in the walls are in fact actually they work as they're depicted in the game, so take advantage of just a little spot there where you can actually wall jump off and do a pretty big skip.
Yeah, so, we saw the ability menu a lot. We're actually going to be seeing the pause menu a little bit here. As Prim does some pause floats to go very fast past that slow walking section to get the water vein, which will allow us to go into our first dungeon of the game.
Yep, so the goal of all this climbing that I'm doing up through Grotto is eventually going to be to get to the Ginso tree. And there's a skill there, so we have to, of course, go in there and get the skill because it's all skills. And yeah, so that's just the next objective. Now that I have double jump. Trying to get that double jump wall climbing right, it's
these walls are very slippery. In this area.
Definitely. This has a reputation of being a very difficult section of the run because of all of the imperfections in the walls that you have to plan around and maneuver through. Yeah,
and the way that people usually set up their splits in this game too, around skills, around kind of important events and stuff. This is also one of the longest splits in the game, so there's a lot of chance for potential time loss as you go through this section. We're going to be saving up here, and then we're going to be grabbing this XP to level up as well. And again, we're going to be using all of these level ups to go to skipping a lot of things as we get closer towards the Ginso tree here.
Yep, so there are going to be a few cutscenes. We're picking up that ability cell just to have an extra resource. It's basically kind of a canned level up. Doesn't give us the explosion, doesn't give us any experience, but it gives you this ability point, which we do need to upgrade our skills and also skip cutscenes along the way.
Yep, Prim opening up the UI at the bottom, which people normally probably have up, just to make sure, because, if we had an extra health, we could have damaged through that slime as Prim went up. But now, getting through the beginning of the Ginso tree and having this menu up, skipping some cutscenes.
Yep, and as we get into the Ginso tree here, going to try to get some movement inside this opening cutscene. But while I'm doing that, a lot of the movement inside is going to be more of the same, so this would be a great time to take it away for some more messages.
You betcha. Thank you very much. Captain Slothbeard sent in another $25 donation with the comment, hashtag Trico Tribe. And that did go toward the Trico bid war, so Trico is now starting to close the gap. Mudkip's still in the lead, but Trico fans, I know you're out there. I know you hear me. I know you want to see Trico as the starter, so be sure to get your donations in to make that happen.
Yeah, and that has to be, obviously it's the starter, so it has to be at the beginning of that run. So
it is at the beginning, yes.
We only have 2 short runs right before that. So.
Yeah, Sapphire is going to be immediately after Children of the Sun, which is right after this run, so time is running out. What, you got time for one more?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, we got a $50 donation here from Dusty Sora. No comment, no problem at all. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for donating. I really like Able Gamers. I was able to visit their headquarters, actually, and, they do some great work over there, and they are great people as well. But yeah, we're going to be getting into a mini-boss here. There's 2 redirectors in this room, but we're actually only using this one because this can fall through this teleporter and actually just do both with one projectile. So very nicely done from Prim. In this mini-boss, we actually got Quick Flame earlier, which allows us to have 3 shots in one volley. So Prim doing nice so far.
Oh,
very nice.
Yeah, 3
cycle. That's very impressive to see.
Only a couple second time save, but always nice to get, especially on stage here.
Yep, Prim getting this 3rd health cell here. We're actually going to be taking 2 damage in the next room. And then also, again, skipping the Keystone Door animations. They take a while to open, so very important that we skip those.
Yeah, you will see later on at least 1 or 2 instances of a door opening, and it is a bit of a wait, so definitely want to do that ghost door tech wherever I can. And now we're coming up to the bash tree. This is a really iconic skill in the Ori games, lets you just fling yourself off of enemies and projectiles and kind of turn them into platforming objects. And yeah, so we're gonna use that to climb through part of the rest of the Ginso tree and pick up some keystones as well.
Yeah, and as we come up to this section here, so Prim's going to be actually getting rid of this enemy and then saving on this platform because we're actually going to be doing this section twice. The first time we're actually going to be duplicating 3 of these keystones that we retrieved, and the second time we're going to be grabbing a total of 7 keystones. So he's going to be placing these keystones in the door and then dying. And that'll actually duplicate these keystones. So now we have 3 in our inventory, which is very important for a later section where usually you would just go through water to grab some keystones. But for the entirety of this run, water is actually poisonous for us.
Yeah, so the water by default starts out poisonous. It'll damage you every second that you're in it. And because I'm not actually going to be doing the Ginso escape, God. Okay, got to get up here somehow. But because I'm not actually going to be doing the Ginso escape, I'm going to be teleporting out right after I beat this mini-boss to unlock the teleporter. The water's going to stay poisonous the whole time, and that'll have some implications for how we route the rest of the run.
Yeah, so, this is probably the... above here is the escape that people probably remember the most about this game. Shout out to Gareth Coker, who made an amazing soundtrack. We are actually going to be, again, going in a different way to get our stomp skill as opposed to that escape. It is a little bit faster. This was actually found through the randomizer. You can go to orirando.com if you want to try that yourself. But this way, Prim's going to be doing some blind movement here and then using a frog to use its projectile to break some barriers.
Yep, so just taking this frog for a bit of a ride. Got to be careful here as I do have only 1 health now after bumping into it.
Yep, grabbing this ability cell and then using this shot here, very nicely done to get into this part of Swamp.
Yep, first try Swamp Entry, always good to see, and right now I'm in the area where I would be if I had completed the Ginso escape, combine that with the extra keystones that I duplicated, and I'm actually able to completely skip the requirement of doing the Ginso escape at all.
Yep, and as beautiful as this water looks, it's actually poisonous. And again, so you'll see that throughout the entirety of the rest of the game. We're going to be avoiding water as best as possible. But yeah, we are getting our Stomp skill here now. This is the most out-of-the-way skill tree in the game.
Yeah, so the main thing Stomp is, I guess, intended to do is just let you travel down faster than normal and also break some floors that you can just stomp into now and damage them. But it also will have some implications for late game movement, allowing me to basically stop my momentum whenever I want to help conserve energy when I get charge dash. But that's still a little ways off.
Yep. We are going to be getting an ability cell here. So we used this frog and brought it to the right side. Now we're using this frog, bringing it to the left side to get another ability cell. This ability cell here in the top left here. Yeah, this is very quick to reload since you just saved there. But yeah, this ability cell, again, ability cells are very closely routed in this game because we have a lot of things that we need to level up in the game, as well as, you know, specific times that we need to get those by. And we're not going to see a cutscene here. Very nicely done.
I'm not sure why I jumped there. But that's okay. So we're going to be grabbing a 5th health cell and then playing a fun little mini game around this cutscene skip. We're basically playing the floors cutscene. Just going to take a death here.
Yeah, value save.
Reload this spider shot. But basically the idea here is if I touch the ground at any point now, I'm going to get a cutscene.
Yep,
So
you need to get
some-
to that lantern right there. Very
Yeah,
nicely
doing
done.
some fancy movements and pause floats and bashes to avoid hitting the ground and just get myself to charge flame a little bit faster.
Yep, and we are going to be, so you can see in the blue tree, we have a lot of points in the blue tree. We're going to be trying to get to charge dash, which is, you know, three ticks away there. And so, you know, we're going to be skipping this top cutscene here. This is a very long cutscene.
Okay.
And then we're going to be collect some more cells as we make our way towards Valley here, so that we can level up that charge dash once we get there.
Yeah, fortunately Valley does have several ability cells in it that we can just pick up as we go using a few different tricks. And while doing that, I'm also going to be keeping an eye on just my health and general resources as I set up for a trick called Fast Stompless to get to Kura's Feather.
Yep.
At the end of this segment.
Yeah, and that's going to be coming up right here very soon. So after Prim gets one more ability cell here, basically what's going to happen is in this area, there's a rock wall or a rock barrier that you essentially stomp on to break at the entrance of Sorrow Pass. Instead of that, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be utilizing a shot from a spider enemy. So that shot is going to allow us to basically bash that towards the rock, the stompable rock thing, and from there, this upper spider, so this shot is going to go towards that rock, but there's some rocks in the way, so we have to go down as fast as possible to deload that rock that's in the way. And then that shot is able to go through. We grab this, and the rocks hit Kuro's head, and very nicely done.
Yep, so basically using the spider shot to break the rocks above Kura's head instead of just stomping them. That's why the trick is known as Stompless, and picking up an ability cell along the way so that I now have charge dash for the late game.
Yeah, this charge dash is actually going to allow us to get a lot of speed. There's going to be a technique that Prim's going to be using after we get to the bottom frog here. It's going to be called rocket jumping, and you'll see why. There you go. That's a lot of speed. You cannot normally do that. But, you know, if you charge dash and jump, you are able to. We're going to be utilizing this bird. So we don't have wind restored right now. So we have to get this bird in this very narrow corridor to then use that bird to basically get up into Sorrow Pass.
Yeah, and that skips the entire requirement to do the Forlorn Ruins because there is no skill tree there. We actually don't have to go there, and so we're not.
Yeah, so again, this is a very narrow corridor to get this bird into. Very nicely done. And we're going to be getting another keystone here, as well as juggling this frog up. This frog, again, breaks some of these barriers that are in the area. So these okay. There are a lot of 2 to 3 frame inputs that Prim has to do to make sure that, again, this frog's health is only going down when we're bashing it. We needed to do all of those inputs to make sure we can get it. And we're going up to the Sunstone now.
Yep, so collecting some experience to get a level up. And very glad I got that first try because that's a long way back to go if you do kill the frog or end up taking a death there.
Yeah, very nicely done from Prim. And again, we have this menu up. We're going to be skipping a cutscene here. This Sunstone cutscene, one of the longest cutscenes in the game, so this is definitely the one that we want to skip.
Yep, and just skipping it with the save anywhere, as we've talked about before, and I'm going to be dropping down, hopefully getting a good laser cycle here, and making my way to the charge jump tree.
Yep, charge jump is a really nice skill because it allows us to do a lot of vertical movement. Obviously with rocket jumps we also have that, but we're going to be going to Misty Woods next. So if you've played this casually, this is probably the second to last place you went is Sorrow Pass, then you went to Mount Horu to finish up the game. We're actually going to Misty Woods to get the climb tree. So Prim's going to be getting this experience here. We're going to have one more kind of specifically timed level up that we need to get, but we're going to Misty Woods now that we have all of this different movement tech. It's going to make it a lot faster than if we hadn't had charge jump.
Yeah, so just dropping a save here to make sure I don't have to go back into Sorrow at this point. And yeah, so energy conservation really important in Misty. The idea is with these charge dashes, normally they cost an energy to use, but if you bash an enemy or just input a stomp before the charge dash animation finishes, you can actually just skip it.
Yeah. And
or refund the cost.
Yeah, it'll refund your energy. So as you can see in the UI there, you can see that one refilling back up. That's because we bash those enemies before the charge dash actually fully finishes. So we use that to conserve our energy because again we only have 5 energy. We can't use all of it. And here we're going to our second to last tree in the game, the climb tree. And so, there's a lot of cool movement coming up towards the end of the game. So we're going to let you enjoy that movement while we hand it over to Dane for some messages.
You betcha. I got 2 here I think you're going to really, really like. We got $10 from Turtle Run 2412.
Woo! Oh, hey, Turtle.
It says, I might not be there in person, but I am awake to catch your run this time. GLHF Prim and hi from the Discord watch party.
Hello, Turtle.
Yeah, shout out Ori Run's Discord. Thanks to everyone hanging out there watching the run.
And that's not all. We also got $10 from 2Kill that says, hey, Prim and Richard from the watch party from the Discord. Always great to see Ori.
Yeah, hello. Thank you for watching.
Do you got time for more?
Yeah, go for it.
Yep.
You bet. We got a $100 donation from Bentosity with a comment, Cyndaquil fans vote for Trico. And that does put Trico in the lead, so I am going to go ahead and just say, Mudkip fans, where are you at? You got to make sure Mudkip wins now. I'm always going to pull for whichever one's behind, so yeah.
There's a lot of back and forth, Make sure to get your donations in. All right, now coming up to the end of Misty Woods here, we have some very precise movement. Prim's on 1 health, as you can see from the UI, so we have to be very careful. There is a mini-boss coming up here, and as long as we get this mini-boss kill, we're going to get enough experience to level up, so then we don't have to really worry. Again, back to full health here, and there is a slow walking section here if you need to grab that orb, but we don't need to. We, again, already went to Sorrow Pass. We didn't need to go to Forlorn Ruins. We don't need this dungeon key. We are going to just leave Misty Woods and go to our final tree of the game. So we're going back to the area where we got Dash, actually. Now that we have all this movement tech, it'll make it easier for us to get our final tree.
Yeah, so the first time we went into Blackroot Burrows, we didn't really have a good way to access the bottom part where the light grenade tree is, but now that we have everything, it's a convenient time to go back and pick it up, as we do need it in order to finish the category.
Yeah, so there's a lever right here. We're actually going to save and then rekindle that save and then die. So that is actually going to keep that door open for us to access once we leave this area, because there's a teleporter there that we need to use. And now Prim is making it through these lasers. Very nicely done. And we're going to be skipping a cutscene right here to get to the final tree. Very nicely done. And then this is our final skill in the game. This is light grenade.
Yep, so on its own, it's really just used to interact with certain lanterns that are added in to the Definitive Edition, open up some doors, that kind of thing. But a bit later on, towards the end of the run, you're going to see it actually does have use in movement tech as well. It's going to allow us to get some very fast horizontal movement going in the form of grenade jumps.
Yep, we're going to be doing another rocket jump here. Again, that allows us to go up vertically very quickly. We have played this entire game with 3 health, but this is our chance now to get 2 more health cells. These 2 health cells are very important. Very fortunate for us. They are basically just in our immediate path to get to the end of the game. But, you know, we talked about all of the water being poisonous. There is going to be a mandatory water section at the end that deals 4 damage to us.
Yeah, so for that reason, we need to get up to 5 health, and the fastest way to do so is just to grab these 2 health cells right on the way to Mount Horu. So now I'm at 5 health. I have enough to survive the final escape if I do everything right.
There's going to be a grenade jump here, so we had to avoid that elemental shot and get a lot of speed here. Very nicely done to get into the final dungeon.
Yeah, so that's just a frame perfect trick. Yeah, charge jumping off the wall 1 frame after I throw a grenade, and that allows me to get a ton of horizontal speed very quickly and maintain it over a long distance without consuming any energy.
Yeah, 1 very nicely timed up input here when the game loads in on 1 frame. Very nice first try door warp there as well. We're going to be skipping this final cutscene here, and we just have the final escape left. That's all we have.
All right, this hasn't been working too well, so I'm just going to actually watch the cutscene.
Yep, and so again, with the final escape, we cannot take any damage or else we need to restart the final escape. With the 5 health that we have just enough to go through the poison water right at the end. So we're going to make sure that Prim can get through the escape without taking any damage. Very nicely done. Yeah, coming up to this water section, there are 2 fish that you bash in specific spots to make sure that you do not have to, you know, take 5 damage. So we're going to see if Prim can get through this. Very nicely done. Again, that's very tight.
Yeah, that jump out of the water is honestly pretty precise just on its own to get it without...
1 final grenade jump. There is 1 more walking section, so it's not time yet, but we are just holding right.
Yep, so real quickly, just as I'm watching this final cutscene about to get control of Naru, shoutouts, of course, to Richard for helping with the commentary. Shoutouts again to the Ori Runs Discord. Really your go-to for anything. Blind Forest, Will of the Wisps, speedrunning related. You can find them on speedrun.com by searching either of those games. And time will be coming up relatively soon.
There's going to be a foreground tree that we walk by. Yep. Prim's going to call it out.
Yeah, I'll call it out.
I'm going to donate 5 per jump, by the way. $5 per jump. And time. Very nicely done. Again, shoutouts to Primorix here. Primorix here at GDQX. Thank you for doing this run.
Yeah, thank you for having me, of course. And yeah, if you like what you saw here, of course, feel free to join the Discord, get started, or you can also find me occasionally streaming this game at twitch.tv/Primorix. That's really mainly where I'm at. And yeah, thanks to GDQ, of course, for having me.
Have a great rest of your TwitchCon.